Hi everyone, welcome to One Stop Mathematical Solution. Today we are going to solve CSIR NET June 2013 question paper. First question, question 48. Let P of Z and Q of Z be two non-zero polynomials. Then P of Z, Q of Z bar is analytic if and only if. So we have given two non-zero polynomial. We have to check which condition satisfies so that this equation become analytic. So let us check the concept first. So if we have f dot g, then f dot g is analytic if both f and g are analytic. And second is if z and z conjugate are analytic, then z should be a constant. So let us go to the question now. So P of Z, Q of Z is analytic if both P of Z and Q of Z should be analytic by the first concept. Note, Q of Z is given to be a non-zero complex polynomial in the question. So Q of Z is entire because you know polynomials are entire. That is Q of Z is analytic everywhere. So now we have Q of Z and Q of Z complement as analytic. Therefore, by the second concept, Q of Z should be a constant. Therefore, for P of Z, Q of Z bar to be analytic, Q of Z should be a constant. So let us check the correct option now. So the correct option is the third one. Next question 49. If Z1 and Z2 are distinct complex numbers such that mod Z1 is equal to mod Z2 is equal to 1 and Z1 plus Z2 is equal to 1, then the triangle in the complex plane with Z1, Z2 and minus 1 as vertices. So we have to find which type of triangle this complex numbers form. So let us check how to do this question now. So I am taking Z1 as x1 plus y1 and Z2 as x2 plus y2. So we have given in the question that mod Z1 is equal to mod Z2 is equal to 1. So we know mod of Z1 is equal to square root of x1 square plus y1 square equal to 1. We'll get, I'm squaring both the terms, so we'll get x1 square plus y1 square equal to 1. Similarly, for mod Z2 is equal to 1, we'll get x2 square plus y2 square equal to 1. We have mod Z1 equal to mod Z2. So I am like subtracting these two equations. So we'll get x1 square plus y1 square minus of x2 square plus y2 square equal to 0. Now I am rearranging so that x terms come first and y terms come second. Now we note a square minus b square can be written as a minus b into a plus b. So I am writing like this. Okay, now here again it is given in the question that z1 plus z2 equal to 1. So now I am substituting z1 and z2. So we will get x1 plus I y1 plus x2 plus I y2 is equal to 1. So now I am rearranging the real parts and imaginary parts together. So we will get like this. Okay. Now I am comparing the real parts and imaginary parts on both sides. So we will get x1 plus x2 equal to 1 and y1 plus y2 equal to 0. So now come to this equation. So from this equation, I am substituting x1 plus x2 as 1 and y1 plus y2 as 0. So we'll get x1 minus x2 equal to 0, which implies x1 is equal to x2. Okay, and we already got x1 plus x2 equal to 1 and x1 equal to x2. Now I am substituting in that equation. So we'll get 2x1 is equal to 1. So x1 is 1 by 2. So x1 and x2 are both equal. So x1 equal to 1 by 2 and x2 equal to 1 by 2. Now I am finding y1 and y2. For that I am using these two equations. So x1 square plus y1 square is equal to 1. I am substituting x1. So when we substitute and simplify, we will get y1 as plus or minus root 3 by 2. And from this y1 plus y2 equal to 0, I will get y1 as y2 as minus of y1. So I'm substituting y1 here. So we'll get y2 is equal to minus or plus root 3 by 2. So therefore now our points z1 becomes 1 by 2 root 3 by 2, which I am taking as A, z2 as 1 by 2 minus root 3 by 2 B. Here y1 can be negative. When y1 is negative, y2 will be positive. I am taking here y1 as positive, y2 as negative. You can take any number. Now we have to check the triangle formed by z1, z2, minus 1 as vertices. So we'll get the sides as, so vertices as A, B, C. So sides as AB, BC and AC. Now I am finding the length of AB, BC and AC. We use the distance formula. I hope everyone knows that. So when we use the distance formula for AB, we'll get this is equal to square root of 1 by 2 minus 1 by 2 whole square plus minus root 3 by 2 minus root 3 by 2 whole square. So when we simplify this, we'll get square root 3. Similarly, we'll get BC equal to square root 3, AC equal to square root 3. So all the lengths of the sides are equal. So this happens for an equilateral triangle. Therefore, the triangle formed by this complex number is an equilateral triangle. So let us check the correct options now. So the correct option is the first one. Next question 86. Consider the function f of z is equal to z square into 1 minus cos z is an element of C. Which of the following are correct? So we have given a function. We have to check which of the options are true. So the options is asking about the zeros of f of z has what order. So first of all, we look into the concept. So the value of z for which f of z becomes 0 is called the 0 of f. And the second concept is telling about how to find the order of 0. So z0 is 0 of order n of analytic function f of z if f dash of z0 is equal to 0, f double dash of z0 is equal to 0, etc. up to fn minus 1 of z0 equal to 0, but fn of z0 should be non-zero. And if f of z can be written as z minus z0 whole power m phi of z0, where phi of z0 is non-zero, then f of z has 0 at z0 of order m. And z is pole of order m of f if and only if z is 0 of order m of 1 by f. And z0 is pole of order m of f if limit z tends to z0, z minus z0 whole power m f of z equal to L, where L should be a finite non-zero complex number. You can solve this in two ways. First way, you can directly find the order of zeros. Else you can find first of all pole of 1 by f, then correspondingly it will be the 0 of f. So that's why I have given this phi concept. So now let us move on to the question. So we have given f of z equal to z square into 1 minus cos z. So I am finding the value for which this function becomes 0. So I am equating this to 0. So we will get z square equal to 0 and 1 minus cos z equal to 0. From z square equal to 0 we will get z equal to 0. Okay. From 1 minus cos z equal to 0 we will get cos z equal to 1. The value for which cos becomes 1 is 2 pi n. So zeros of f occur at 0 and 2 pi n. Now I am writing f of z as z square into 1 minus cos z. So this cos z can be substituted by using its expansion. That is cos z is 1 minus z square by 2 factorial plus z4 by 4 factorial. I am substituting here. And after simplification we will get this is equal to z square into z square by 2 factorial minus z power 4 by 4 factorial plus etc. Now from the inside bracket I am taking z square common. So after that we will get f of z is equal to z power 4 into 1 by 2 factorial minus z square by 4 factorial plus etc. So now I have written f of z as the z minus z0 whole power m into phi of z, where phi of 0 is non-zero. So check for that. So therefore f of z has 0 of order 4 at z equal to 0. Here I am using the third concept. So now I am checking for the order of 2 pi n. 0 of order at 2 pi n. So for that I am using the second concept. So f of z is equal to z square 1 minus cos z equal to 0, and f dash of 2 pi n, sorry, f of 2 pi n is 0 here. Now I am differentiating this with respect to z. So we'll get f dash of z is equal to 2z into 1 minus cos z plus z square into sin z. So again we'll get f dash of 2 pi n is equal to 0. So it is not order of 1. Now I am differentiating again. So f dash of double dash of z is equal to 2 into 1 minus cos z plus 2z into sin z plus z square cos z. Now f dash of 2 pi n is we got as non-zero. Therefore f of z has 0 of order 2 at 2 pi n. So these are the orders. So now I am using the pole concept. So whichever is simple for you, you can opt that. So next is like pole. So already I have said how to find the zeros. Now zeros of f will be poles of 1 by f. Okay. So first condition is asking whether f has zeros of order 2 at 0. So whether 0 is a pole of order 2 of 1 by f. So to check to find the order of pole, I am using the last concept. So limit z tends to z naught, z minus 0 whole square into 1 by z square into 1 minus cos z equal to, when we substitute it directly, we are getting like 0 by 0 form. So I am using L'Hospital rule. So we'll get limit z tends to 0 1 by 1 minus cos z. When I apply limits here, I am getting it as infinite. So it is not a finite number. So this option cannot be true. So let's check the next option. Whether the function has zeros of order 1 at 2 pi n. So this equivalently implies whether the function has pole of order 1 by f function has pole of order 1 at 2 pi n. So I'm using the last concept to find the order. Similarly, like before, we are getting an infinite number. So option 2 also cannot happen. Let's take the next options. So whether the function has zeros of order 4 at 0. So that is asking like whether 0 is a pole of order 4 of 1 by f. So limit z tends to 0, z minus 0 whole power 4 into 1 by z square into 1 minus cos z. So when we directly apply, we are getting like 0 by 0 form. So we'll use L'Hospital. Again, when we apply, it is like 0 by 0 form. So we'll use L'Hospital rule again. So finally, we'll get limit z tends to 0, 2 by cos z. Now when I apply limits, I am getting 2. So it is a finite number and a non-zero number. So this option is correct. So now last option also can be done like that. F has 0 of order 2 at 2 pi n. So we have to check whether 1 by f has pole of order 2 at 2 pi n. For that, use the last concept, and finally when we substitute and simplify, we'll get it as a non-zero finite number. So last option is also correct. Now let us check the true options. So we got the last two as the correct option, that is C and D. Next question 88. Let D is equal to set of all z in C such that mod z less than 1. Which of the following are correct? So we have given a domain. We have to check which of the options are correct. So first of all, let us check into the concept. So Schwarz lemma is saying if f of z is analytic in a domain D, which is defined by mod z less than R, and mod f of z is less than or equal to m for every z in D, then mod f of z is less than or equal to m by R mod z. An application of Schwarz lemma is like mod f dash of z is less than or equal to 1 minus mod f dash of whole square divided by 1 minus mod z whole square. So now let us move on to the question. So we will check here options one by one. So first question is asking about whether there exists a holomorphic function f from d to d with f of 0 is equal to 0 and f dash of 0 is equal to 2. So directly you can use the Schwarz-Lamma's equation, and we find that mod f dash of 0 to be less than or equal to 1. But in the given option it is given f dash of 0 to be 2, which implies 2 is less than 1. But this is a contradiction. So option 1 cannot happen. In the second question, I'll be using the Schwarz-Lamma and applications of Schwarz-Lamma. So they are asking like f of 3 by 4 equal to 3 by 4 and f dash of 2 by 3 to be 3 by 4. So first of all, mod f of 2 by 3, I am using Schwarz-Lamma for that, less than or equal to 1 by mod 2 by 3, which is equal to 2 by 3. Here domain is like mod is a less than 1. That's why m and r to be, that's why I'm taking m and r to be 1. So therefore, now we'll use Schwarz-Lamma application. We'll get mod f dash of 2 by 3 less than or equal to 1 minus f of 2 by 3 whole square divided by 1 minus mod 2 by 3 whole square. From the Schwarz-Lamma we got mod f of 2 by 3 less than or equal to 2 by 3. I'm substituting that. So we'll get less than or equal to 1 minus 2 by 3 whole square divided by 1 minus 2 by 3 whole square, which is equal to 1. So that is mod f dash of 2 by 3 is less than or equal to 1, which is true because 3 by 4 is less than 1. So option 2 is correct. Now let us check the next options. Here in the third option, you can use directly the applications of Schwarz-Lamma and find it is a correct option. So option 3 is also correct. So for fourth option, first of all use the Schwarz-Lamma. First of all, find mod f dash f of 1 by 2. Then substitute in the applications of Schwarz-Lamma. So we'll get mod f dash of 1 by 2 less than or equal to 1. But we got like actually it is 1 by 2 here. So we got it as 1 is equal to 1, but our domain is like mod is it less than 1. So this does not lie in the domain. So this option cannot happen. So let us check the correct option now. So the correct options are 2 and 3. Next question 89. Let f from c to c be analytic function for z is equal to x plus iy. Let uv is function from r square to r be such that u of xy is real part of f of z and v of xy is imaginary part of f of z. Which of the following are correct? So we are given an analytic function and its real part and imaginary part. We have to check which of the options are correct. So first of all, let us look into the concept. So if f of z is equal to u of xy plus I v of xy is given to be analytic, then it satisfies Cauchy-Riemann equation, that is u of x equal to vy and vy is equal to minus vx. So if f of z is analytic, then u and v are harmonic also, and the function h of xy is harmonic if it satisfies Laplace equation, that is h xx plus h yy is equal to 0. So let us look the question now. So f of z is given to be analytic, that is f of z is equal to u of xy plus I v of xy, because u of xy is given to be the real part of f of z and v of xy is the imaginary part of f of z. So it satisfies Cauchy-Riemann equation, that is ux equal to vy and uy is equal to minus vx. So now I am differentiating ux with respect to y. So we'll get uxy is equal to vy, and now I am differentiating uy with respect to x. So we'll get uyx equal to minus vx. Since f of z is analytic, u and v are harmonic. So v, and now I am taking v to be harmonic. So v harmonic means vxx plus vyy equal to 0. So I am substituting here vx and vy. So we'll get minus ux plus uxy equal to 0. Similarly, when we do it for vy, the differentiation for the second differentiation, we'll get vyx minus vxy to be 0. So now let us look into the correct options. So the correct options are 1, 2 and 3.